are 250,000 Freemasons in the UK, yet not many people know who they are. Famous Freemasons include Mozart, Arthur Conan Doyle, George Washington and Winston Churchill. Over the years of existence, they have continuously contributed to charities and have developed the organisation for the better. As Freemasonry has evolved, they have been trying to find a way to enhance, promote and share their workings.
I don't know what Freemasonry is now.
No, neither do I.
Not exactly.
I'm afraid I don't know what Freemasonry is.
It is the largest men's organisation in the world. 6 million men throughout the world. In this country, about 250,000, scattered all over England and Wales. And we all meet regularly, raise money for charity, enjoy each other's company, and generally do what we can to help our local communities.
The foundation behind Freemasonry starts thousands of years ago, but the modern Freemasonry as we know it started around 300 years ago at the beginning of the 18th century.
Well, the historical connections go back possibly as far as Egypt, although the evidence for that is limited. The next sort of possibility is that it stems from the guilds of medieval stonemasons that were travelling around building the cathedrals in medieval Europe. So really the earliest evidence for Freemason being made in the modern sense of it being a philosophical organisation rather than a practical stonemason type situation is Elias Ashmole in the middle of the 17th century.
In 1717, 4 London lodges formed together to become the first Grand Lodge in the world. 2 lodges in England united on the 27th of December 1813 to form the United Grand Lodge of England. The union led to a great deal of standardization in ritual procedures and regalia. The 2 world wars both had a great effect on English Freemasonry. In the 3 years of the First World War, over 350 new lodges were set up, and in the 3 years after the Second World War, nearly 600 new lodges came into being. On the 10th of June 1992, over 12,500 Freemasons and guests gathered in the Earl's Court in West London to celebrate the 275th anniversary of the Grand Lodge.
Purely to symbolise, originally the apron that a mason wears symbolises from the days of the stonemason, whereby they wore their working aprons.
And when you're initiated, it's a plain white apron, and then it's got a little more on it, the 2nd degree and the 3rd degree, you become a Master Mason.
Tunic and mantle of Knights Templar with a collarette of the preceptor of a Knights Templar preceptorate, which is what I belong to, which is equivalent to the Master in a craft lodge. On there are displayed the breast jewel of Knight of Malta, the jewel of a preceptor, the jewel of a Knight of Malta, which is the regalia over there, and also there is a 100-year or centenary jewel for the preceptory that I currently belong to, which was founded in 1867 and has been going ever since then.
The apron denotes rank, and the square on there shows that I've been a master of a lodge. Dark blue denotes I'm either a provincial officer or a grand officer. Light blue ones, you generally show that you're a Master Mason, and you either haven't been through the chair or you've been through very recently. The collar is something to hang on, which just there it shows what rank you hold in the organisation.
Freemasons have been subject to many accusations like corruption, sanitism, and political interference, which has created a certain stigma on their name. They are eager to disprove these theories. One of the most infamous controversies associated with Freemasons is that they are working with the Illuminati to try and control the world.
No idea. I've only known about the Illuminati from what I've read in the Dan Brown books.
Quite know what the Illuminati is, really, but there's obviously lots of theories about what goes on behind closed doors, I suppose. But it's not something that has any involvement or impact on day-to-day Freemasonry or what we would experience in Freemasonry.
Another controversy with Freemasons is the idea that they are involved with various terrorist attacks around the world, but the Freemasons have denied all of these allegations.
They're expected to maintain very high standards of conduct, and that includes abiding by the law of the land that they live in. So any Freemason, far from covering up crime, if there was any criminal activity that came to the attention of anyone in authority, then those members are likely to be expelled, as has on rare occasions happened. As for terrorism, I don't think, as a relatively conservative organisation, I don't think it's a hotbed for terrorism.
The Freemasons, like many organisations, have been subject to many different allegations. Freemasonry has been accused of being a secretive organisation. Freemasons themselves are more likely to claim that it's a very public society, but with the private aspects. The most common phrasing is the contemporary Freemasonry group is less of a secret society and more of a society with secrets.
I think it's probably indoctrination from historical reasons, stemming from different attitudes and beliefs, which in a lot of cases are fundamentally themselves the beliefs are ignorance born out of ignorance and lack of knowledge.
I think Freemasonry has always been supportive of the church as a concept and religion generally, and that's why it promotes belief in a supreme being as a qualification of membership. So it's always encouraged that, an active involvement in whatever religion you might have. But often there has been, particularly with certain churches, there's been obviously certain animosity towards Freemasonry, but that's certainly not an animosity that's shared within the organisation. I think again it's possibly part of the misconceptions or the competing interests of those religious organisations.
Freemasonry is different than what it once was. Some lodges are trying different ways of attracting new Masons. Stepped up. Efforts including the internet, TV commercials and one-day seminars are used to show candidates the benefits and privileges of membership. These days, lots of old rules that were once implemented are no longer rules. The rule that only men could join is no longer true. There are 2 separate Grand Lodges that allow women to become members.
Why is it separate? Well, I suppose because it's quite an old organisation. It started, and society was very different then, and it was a male-only organisation.
I believe, from what I understand, is that the ladies' lodges and the actual ceremonies and the way they carry on their functions are no different than to men. It's just the fact that they are totally separate organisations. The United Grand Lodge of England, which covers all the male Freemasons, know of the existence of the ladies' lodges, but they don't, shall we say, fraternise or cooperate greatly. It's only point of view of, shall we say, a mutual respect for each other.
It used to be the case that you had to be asked by someone who was a Mason to join. These days, you ask, you come up to Sam or Ryan and say, I want to join. It's as simple as that.
Freemasons are taught to help out with charity and to care for others, and not just in their own community. They're all about charitable giving and voluntary work as well as works of the individual Freemason themselves. From the earliest days of Freemasonry, it's been concerned with the care of the orphans, the elderly, and also the sick and in need. Furthermore, large sums of Freemasons' money are given to local charities in the individual lodge, but also given to national charities. These are both Masonic and non-Masonic charities. Over the past 5 years, Freemasons raised more than 75 million for different charities worldwide for a range of purposes. This includes charities that help with medical research, community care, and also working with young people for educational purposes.
We, through central funds and individual funds from lodges, give money to the air ambulance so that they can survive on the basis they're about saving lives, so we can help them in that way. We do so, and I think the total, since they've been in existence, we've given them about £2.5 million.
Individual lodges raise money could either be for local charitable organisations, or it could be for national organisations.
We don't have any corporate donations, but the money we raise on the fundraising activities we hold are purely by members putting their hands in their pockets.
Over the decades and development of Freemasonry, they have continued to help and aid many people in their troubles, and although they're subject to controversies, they have overcome these and continue to do their jobs. Freemasonry provides a unique environment for people from all backgrounds, and most importantly, it's a hobby for all to enjoy.